There are feelings you carry that no one sees, not because they're small, but because you learned how to tuck them beneath the surface with the precision of someone who has survived too much. You live with these emotions quietly, almost politely, as if they were guests you don't want to inconvenience. And the world, busy and distracted, never notices how much weight a silent person can hold. There are things you pretend not to feel, because acknowledging them would slow you down. It would force you to pause. It would require honesty. And honesty isn't difficult because it hurts, but because it rearranges things. It changes how you move. It interrupts the rhythm you created just to stay functional. So you tell yourself you're just overwhelmed, just tired, just not in the right moment. You insist it's nothing, even when a part of your body tightens every time you say that word. But nothing has a way of growing heavy when carried long enough. What you ignore doesn't disappear. It settles. Some feelings don't arrive as storms. They arrive as subtle shifts. The way you lose interest in what once brought color. The way a laugh feels delayed in your throat. The way fatigue shows up even when you slept enough. Your body communicates long before your mind allows the message to surface. But you keep going. Because going is easier than stopping. Stopping means encountering yourself. You pretend not to feel disappointment, so you blame the weak. You pretend not to feel sadness, so you say you're just in a mood. You pretend not to feel loneliness, so you drown silence with scrolling. Pretending becomes routine, and routine becomes identity. There are things you avoid because facing them would require softness, and softness is terrifying when you're used to being the strong one. You were taught to keep moving, to stay composed, to wear resilience like armor. But armor gets heavy. Eventually, even steel begins to ache. Strength was never meant to be a performance, yet somehow you learned to perform it daily, even in rooms where no one is watching. It's not that you're incapable of feeling, it's that you've become excellent at hiding. But what you bury stays alive beneath the surface. Unspoken hurt becomes tension. Unfelt sadness becomes fatigue. Ignored fears become restlessness. Your body remembers everything your voice refuses to say. There is a quiet moment, usually late at night or early in the morning, when your guard slips, when no one needs anything from you. When the world is still for long enough that your truth surfaces like a slow tide, and suddenly you feel it. The heaviness you've been calling stress, the sadness you renamed tired, the longing you buried under distraction. These emotions aren't dramatic. They're honest. They come not to overwhelm you, but to ask for recognition. Feelings don't break people. The refusal to feel them does. Some emotions linger not because you're weak, but because you never had the space to tend to them. You were surviving, managing, holding everything together while trying not to take up too much room. But healing doesn't happen in the same environment where pain was avoided. Healing begins when you allow yourself to pause long enough to notice, this hurt me, this mattered, this stayed with me longer than I expected. These statements aren't admissions of failure. They are declarations of humanity. They are signs that you're still open, still capable of caring, still alive where it counts. There are things you pretend not to feel because you fear they'll make you unravel. But emotions aren't threads that pull you apart. They're maps. They reveal where you've been, where you've ignored yourself, where your heart is asking to be gently held. Ignoring them is like walking in the dark. Acknowledging them turns on a small light, not bright enough to blind you, just enough to guide you. Imagine holding one of these feelings in your hands, not judging it, not pushing it away, just holding it. What does it say? What does it need? What part of you has been waiting for this moment of honesty? This is not weakness. This is you meeting yourself without turning away. Some of the things you avoid feeling are old. Older than this year. Older than this moment. Older than you want to admit. Unspoken disappointments. Unacknowledged heartbreak. Moments when you needed support but acted like you were fine. None of this makes you broken. It makes you someone who learned to survive before learning to be held. But now, you get to choose differently. You get to feel without apologizing. You get to rest without earning it. You get to be soft without explaining why. There are things you pretend not to feel because you're afraid of being too much. But the truth is, you were never too much. You were just carrying too much alone. Your emotions don't make you heavy. They make you real, and letting them breathe doesn't weaken you. It roots you deeper into yourself. There is a life on the other side of your honesty. A lighter one, a quieter one, a version of you that no longer needs to hide behind strength. A version of you that doesn't fear depth because depth no longer threatens to drown you. It becomes a place to rest, not a place to fear. And so, this reflection is not about forcing feelings to surface. It's about making space for truth. It's an invitation. Gentle, slow, patient. Feel when you're ready. Listen when you can. Stay with yourself long enough to notice what has been asking for you. You don't have to unpack everything today. Just stop pretending you don't feel what you feel. Honesty is not a flood. It's a doorway. Step through it slowly. If you've stayed with me this far, it means something in these words touched a place inside you that has been quietly waiting. So let this next part be a moment not of listening, but of turning inward. Gently, honestly, without pressure. There are feelings you've carried so silently that even you forgot when they first began. So start by noticing what your body is doing right now. Notice the tension behind your eyes, the heaviness in your shoulders, the way your chest rises only halfway when you breathe. Your body always speaks first, long before the mind finds the courage to translate. Think of the emotions you tend to dismiss automatically, not because they're small, but because acknowledging them would require slowing down. Maybe it's the disappointment you keep renaming. Maybe it's the loneliness you try to outrun with noise. Maybe it's the longing you keep disguising as distraction. Ask yourself quietly, what am I pretending not to feel today? Let whatever comes to mind appear without judgment. A memory, a person, a conversation that left a mark, a truth you've been avoiding because it complicates the life you're trying to keep together. You don't have to solve these emotions, just recognize the ones that keep knocking. Now look at the patterns in your days. How often do you say, "It's nothing," when it's actually something? How often do you choose silence because naming your feelings feels too vulnerable? How often do you act strong because you're afraid softness will unravel you? Strength is not the absence of feeling. It's the willingness to feel without collapsing. And you've carried so much for so long that slipping into numbness felt safer than honesty. But honesty doesn't break you. It frees you. Bring to mind one emotion you've been minimizing, not the loud ones, the quiet ones, the faint ache, the slow sadness, the subtle longing, the familiar frustration. Let it sit with you for a moment, not as an enemy, but as something that has been waiting for your attention. Ask it silently, what do you want me to know? You might not hear an answer in words. Sometimes the answer is the heaviness itself. Sometimes it's the warmth behind your eyes. Sometimes it's the sudden realization that you're tired of pretending. Recognize this. There is nothing weak about feeling deeply. There is nothing embarrassing about needing space, gentleness, or understanding. These needs don't make you fragile. They make you human. Think about the moments when you dismissed your own truth to keep the peace. Think about the times you held back tears because you wanted to seem stable. Think about the parts of you that stayed quiet because you believed your feelings were too much. You were never too much. You were simply carrying too much alone. Let that truth settle. Now imagine what it would feel like to be completely honest with yourself. Not dramatically, not all at once, but quietly, steadily. Imagine noticing your emotions as they arise, instead of pushing them away. Imagine giving yourself the space you've always given others. Imagine letting yourself rest in your own truth without needing permission. What would change in your life if you stopped pretending? What relationships would soften? What dreams would resurface? What burdens would finally loosen their grip? You don't have to answer everything now. Just allow the possibility to exist. Let this be the beginning of a different kind of strength. the kind that comes from meeting yourself gently, honestly, without running away. Because the feelings you pretend not to feel don't disappear, they wait for you, not to overwhelm you, but to guide you toward a life where you no longer need to hide from your own depth. And if you can hold even one small truth tonight, just one, then you're already closer to the version of yourself who lives without fear of what they feel, a version of you who breathes deeper, who speaks softer to themselves, who no longer treats emotions as threats, but as signals, who no longer avoids honesty but grows from it. This is the inner path you've been delaying, not because you're weak, but because no one ever showed you how to walk it. You're learning now, slowly, gently, truthfully, and that is enough for today. This video is part of a daily path, a space to breathe when everything feels heavy, to face what needs attention, and to rediscover the quiet strength that grows from honesty. Tomorrow brings another chapter, another reflection, another gentle pause. If it feels right, come back. We'll continue together, one day at a time. This is Form Within Mind, where calm takes shape.